Well, Coach, the Broncos are coming off 5 games in 9 nights and went 1-1-1 over the past week. Through 5 games this season, what are your assessments so far?
Well, certainly when you look at the 5 games in 9 nights, it's always a bit of a concern because the players aren't used to playing in that kind of a rhythm. I think a credit to Tim Herman, our strength and conditioning coach, and the work that he did with the guys this summer. They're in tremendous condition. We were involved in every game. Probably the best game we played in terms of overall team performance when we look at things tactically, energy-wise, was the one we lost on Saturday night to Clarkson, a 4-2 game where they got an empty netter. But, our puck possession skills, our speed, our decision-making, were all very good in that particular game. So we've got a young, enthusiastic team. They work extremely hard, and we're looking forward to getting back on the ice and game action against a young and energetic Michigan State team this Friday night.
With Michigan State coming in and Western going there on Friday, how important is it to you and the team to have a team like that on the schedule?
Well, I think it's great for both programs. I think it's great for Michigan State and for the Broncos here. We're only about an hour and 10 minutes or 20 minutes apart, and we should be playing each other on a regular basis. And the home and home gives an advantage for both fan bases to have games in their building, and we're excited about it. It's a great rivalry, and Danton Cole's done a great job of recruiting, retooling that program, and they're going to be a very difficult team to play against. But I think it's exciting for both teams.
You're playing them so early into both of your seasons, yet both of you have a common opponent, which doesn't always happen when you're playing your fourth and fifth games. When it's earlier in the year, you've played Bowling Green, they've played Bowling Green. Do you pay attention to that tape anymore?
Certainly we've been watching tapes of Michigan State and the last 2 games that they had against Bowling Green. That's our focus right now for sure. We studied them yesterday. We'll take another look at them over the next couple of days, show some things to our players, but ultimately it will be up to our group to do what they do, and we don't worry as much about the opponent. We try to get some ideas by looking at the tape, but more importantly is how we perform.
When you go on the road there, I know that you're going to play there and here, but when you're on the road there, how important is a quick start for your team?
Well, I think the game of hockey indicates statistically that over 80% of the time the team that scores the first goal in the game wins. So it's an advantage. Now, that's not to say if you don't get it, there's not the opportunity there, because it happens a lot the other way as well. But certainly you want to get off to a great start. They had a big win. They're going to be excited about it. We're obviously disappointed with the result of the second game against Clarkson, but I think by the same token, our team will be fired up. It's a great rivalry, great game, old CCHA foes, and our guys will be ready.
You mentioned that you thought that the best, maybe the most complete game you guys have played was the 4-2 loss to Clarkson. How do you kind of convey that to your team, but at the same time know, hey, we want to change the result too, though?
Well, we've already talked about it. This morning in our meeting, we looked at some video clips that showed us doing some things well, and then obviously things that we need to correct as well. And there's no solace in saying we played well as a team. We didn't win. I mean, they don't give bonus points or gratis points or anything like that. You got to earn it. And obviously we have to be better, but we did a lot of things right, and when you perform as a team, ultimately you'll get the dividends from that effort.
Last season the Broncos had the firepower to be able to give up 3 and sometimes 4 goals a game, and with the exception of Saturday, you guys have been able to clamp down defensively so far. What's been the case for that?
Well, I don't know if as coaches we ever talked at them that we were ready to give up 3 or 4 goals last year. It did happen, and we did have some firepower, but I'd like to think that we've got depth on offense this year as well. We've got different guys that contribute, and we've got a core defenseman that can step up and make the play. And you're going to be talking to one of them here today, and Paul Stojkovic, who's off to a great start in his senior year, and obviously has the ability, like our other D-men, to step up and contribute there. So we never want to be giving up 3 or 4 in the game of hockey. Usually if you're giving up more than 2, you could be in trouble, and that's kind of the way it's been so far this year as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Paul, I've asked this to the other seniors that have been here, and they all kind of give a similar answer. And, it's their last year. How fast has it gone by?
It's incredible. It's in the blink of an eye. Still feels like I'm, walking onto the campus for the first time my freshman year, coming into the rink. But it's been quite the ride, and the story hasn't ended yet. There's still a whole year to go, so we're excited to see what happens the rest of this year.
Those Saturday night, you get to play a little bit of forward. Last season, towards the end of the season, you played quite a bit at forward. What does that versatility mean to you and to the team?
It's important to me and both the team. I like that I could be versatile, help the team when we can. What depends on the situation. It's nice that the coach can rely on me as a forward, sometimes in a penalty kill role, sometimes in a fourth line role. But it's nice to know that he could have me back on the blue line also, and I could play both roles. So I think it's helpful to the team. Guys like it. Guys actually get pretty excited when I get to go up front for a couple shifts, catch them a breath, and they get to see something a little different.
You're a senior, so whether you've played in all that many games or not, you certainly have heard of Michigan State over the past however many years you've been here. What does this game mean to the team?
This is a big game. Even walking around campus earlier today, there's kind of talk about Broncos, Michigan State rivalries back at it. I've never had the chance to play against Michigan State, but I'm very excited. Both the schools, very proud programs, and it's going to be a very exciting weekend.
Same thing that I asked Coach Murray, when you guys go on the road up there, particularly trying to get off to that good start, how important is that good start?
Absolutely huge, especially on the road. Taking their crowd out of it is very important. Getting on top of their defensemen, it just energizes us throughout the game, and on the road you need that.
Coach Murray also talked about the fact that he said that perhaps your best game was that 4-2 loss. How do you guys kind of balance that out?
I mean, it was a good game team-wise, tactically, but we're still a really young group, and we got to learn how to win games, and ultimately that's the end goal. There's no moral victories in hockey. I mean, you can pat yourself on the back, but we got to learn from it and just move forward, and we got to get those wins.
Just want to get your opinion on two guys on the team so far that we've seen play pretty well. Obviously, Dawson DiPietro, 1 point in one game last year, and he's got, I think, 6 so far this season. And then Cale Bennett, who works really hard in practice and couldn't crack the lineup last year and gets in and plays pretty well on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm very proud of both of them. Dawson, to start off with, he's had an unbelievable start to the season. He's had a great summer. He's a very fast and skilled player, and he's really taking advantage of playing with Wade and Colt. And he's scoring goals, which is what we need from him. And he's very excited for his whole Bronco career. And Cale Bennett, an amazing team player. He's worked his butt off for the whole year, like you said, last year. And I'm very happy that he got the opportunity to play the other night. And he stepped in and played really well. A great shutdown guy, can move the puck, very smart kid, and he's a great asset to this team.
All right. Thank you.